Our next presenter is Catherine Lawson of HydroSapient. Catherine, you can begin your presentation.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Catherine Lawson, CEO of HydroSapient, an academic technology transfer startup working in water resources. We have multiple projects all centered around our mission to accelerate global accessibility to reliable and timely water resources predictions. Current streamflow predictions are inaccurate. It's hard enough to predict the weather, and it's unfortunately not as simple as more rain causing more streamflow. Flooding we can predict is already bad enough, but flooding outside of predictions results in billions of dollars of inland uninsured water damage and causes homelessness and bankruptcies. Available flood maps are notoriously inaccurate, and the rapidly growing private flood insurance market is demanding better information. We're developing solutions to tackle this problem and are approaching stakeholders in that market. Beyond flooding, streamflow volume predictions are extremely valuable for irrigation, reservoir management, aquaculture, wildfire prevention, and more. Hydroelectric power generation alone is a $60 billion market, which is actively seeking better streamflow predictions. These predictions are also useful for hydropower users like cloud services and cryptocurrency mining, and can further incentivize their use of renewable energy. We believe HydroSapient can revolutionize these predictions. HydroSapient's chief differentiating factor is the continuous facilitated infusion of new science from our Chief Science Officer's research group at Penn State. Dr. Xiaopeng Shen introduced the concept of applying deep learning, an advanced form of artificial intelligence, to the field of hydrology. And this research group is leading the field of hydrological modeling. I am HydroSapient's CEO and have a decade of experience building and leading engineering and research teams. I'm an environmental engineer with graduate degrees from Penn State and Ohio State. We're advised by Jan Dutton, CEO of Prescient Weather, who has over 20 years of experience with weather forecasting-based products. Today's commonly used models for operational flood forecasting are only 64% accurate. HydroSapient's median accuracy across the entire continental United States is 86%. It's a 34% improvement already. For hydropower producers, this could be worth $4.1 billion a year. This unprecedented performance is possible through a novel combination of deep learning with an understanding of hydrological principles. And our team has more novel developments showing promise. Our short-term roadmap shows a few products nearing launch, all of which are highly scalable and have high profit margins with a business-to-business model and online subscription-based platform. Future products may include a method to improve resolution for satellite measured variables, which has been independently noted as a problem in our customer discovery interviews, as well as a method for improving existing physics-based models, meaning better prediction of environmental factors that we can't measure with satellites. So what would it mean for us to win the tech tournament? Money from the tech tournament will allow us to expand our team so we have the person power to convert the research code into a more robust, user-friendly web-based platform, our minimum viable product. This would enable us to approach potential customers with a working product in hand within months and allow us to fund our own development. I appreciate all of you attending and listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Nice presentation. We will now start the Q&A, beginning with Alana. Alana?
Hi, very interesting, Catherine. Thank you for that presentation. Can you tell me a little bit about the customer discovery you've done? You have this wide range of applications and you talk about a B2B model, and I'm just curious, what kinds of customers have you talked to and what have you shown them so far that's helped you to choose which of these markets go first and how to make money on them?
So that's actually a big problem. One of our big questions as well is which markets and where, because there's so many applications of this. And we're still currently in that process. I presented a few of the potential markets, but we have been in discussion with potential customers. I don't know if I can name company names or anything, but I guess significant involvement in the weather forecasting industry and others.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Very interesting, Catherine. Let's talk a little bit about the business model that you envision. It sounds like you're going to put this up on the web and extract value from the people who are using it somehow. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So what some of these companies that would be using our predictions would do would be that we would tie in they would tie in their interface to our interface. So they would basically send us a ping or like a message. I'm not a software engineer, but basically their system would ask our system for the most up-to-date predictions, and we would send it to them, and then their user interface would display.
And you're going to charge them per query or something like that? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. One other quick question. How will you protect this invention or inventions?
Well, for some of the inventions, we're proceeding with patents. We have a draft patent application right now that we're going through with lawyers. For others, it's not so much protecting the intellectual property itself as it is continuing to move forward. And so that's why our push is really on moving the field forward and continuing to integrate developments that are just coming out, that are just becoming aware, because we don't want to close off research that can help people. You know, we don't want to ask Dr. Shen's group to not share their developments. And so by continuing to move, we think that's the best combination of humanitarian work as well as company involvement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Catherine. Hey, thanks for the presentation. How much are your customers paying today for this type of data? Like, do they have a budget?
So depending on the customer, so some would have budgets, yes.
Okay, is it like a substantial amount? Is it something that they, I guess, is integral to their decision making, or sometimes they don't have it? Like, it, you know, I don't know what data sets are out there today.
Okay, yeah. So some customers would have a budget for obtaining the best predictions, and one of the, I guess one of the weather forecasting companies that we have talked with, they basically said, you know, we want the best predictions. If you have the best prediction, we're going to be interested in being a customer. And that was essentially the,
Okay.
I guess the message there. There's others who, for example, in the irrigation industry, who may not be actively seeking solutions, and so that would be more of developing a new market. Whereas for hydropower, for example, the companies are already seeking. There's actually a couple competitions ongoing from an industry group, and they send out a couple of requests for proposals to get a current status report of predictions.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, judges, for your questions, and thank you, Catherine, for your presentation.